Welcome to the Guys Review.
And that was when she stuck a finger in my ass.
Just because Trey's not here.
I was going on the same path. I was going to say about that time is whenever I realized my finger was in the wrong hole. I was on the same
I
path.
thought without Trey here, I would say hello, fellas.
What's happening?
How's it going?
Trey.
I can guarantee you Trey didn't watch this movie that we're doing today.
Oh, God, no.
Oh, fuck no.
No, I mean, like, even if he was here, he probably still wouldn't have watched it.
No, he probably wouldn't have watched it.
He doesn't watch 5 beer movies.
Which, I don't think this is a 5-beer movie, but I think we're getting ahead of ourselves.
We'll get into that.
We're getting ahead of ourselves. I love this. I love that they use this song in this movie, though. So today we're continuing our Halloween theme, and we're going to be reviewing the movie Trick or Treat. But before we get into that, of course, but before we get into that, we are going to tell a little bit about ourselves and our weeks and how everything's been going. So I guess I'll start. Yeah. Chris Tucker, sound good?
Sounds fantastic.
Love it.
Yeah. So my week, really and honestly, just another. It was kind of like last week. Nothing spectacular stands out to me as far as anything this past week goes. I did have a dad threaten me on the phone on Friday. I think I told you a little bit about this. Did I tell you about this? Mm-hmm. The dad on the phone? Yeah, I had a dad call me on Friday. Well, actually, I had a mom call first, and she was complaining that her daughter's car got towed that morning.
Well.
And I read to her the rules, and like this is, it says if you're a guest, you park on the street. Her daughter said that the car was parked in the parking lot, and it didn't have a tag, and she got pulled. Well, then the dad calls 10 minutes later, and he's a complete asshole to me. Yeah. And it literally not threatens like physical violence, but he's like, I'm going to make this blow up, and you're going to be sorry, and da-da-da. And I finally I was like, sir, you don't need to threaten me. Yeah. And I don't mean it like
I'm talking to you. I'm already sorry.
Yeah, seriously. Like it's after 5 o'clock. I didn't even have to take that call. Yeah. And he was all this stuff. He was like, are they scheduled, patrolling this place? I was like, no. He's like, you're telling me it's totally random. I was like, yes, that's the whole point. Because if they knew someone was going to be there at 9 o'clock in the morning, 8:45, everyone's going to move their cars.
Right.
So.
I mean, yeah, that's a smart thing to do.
My favorite thing, though, he goes, you should drive through there this weekend and just make sure they're doing it. He kept saying, you towed our car. I said, sir, I don't drive a tow truck. I'm a real estate agent and a property manager.
Right. And
he's like, well, you allow them to do it. I was like, this is true. We don't even have a written contract with tow companies in this town. Like, it's a verbal.
That's probably not a good thing to be putting on the podcast.
Well, no, it's what it is. It's a verbal agreement. We allow them, but we just allow them to patrol it. It has nothing. What I'm saying is when you get towed and you call your real estate company pissed off, it has nothing to do with us, So, other than that, Auburn lost its football game, so that kind of sucked. I'm going to kind of steal everyone's thunder.
But Alabama lost.
So Alabama lost to A&M, so, I mean, I like that. It
all equaled out.
I like that. Did you see the picture he shared on Facebook today? Probably not.
Oh, the next morning or whatever?
Yeah, on Monday Morning Trash Talk.
Good morning.
Man, we should do a podcast called that. That's what we should do a podcast called Monday Morning Trash Talk. I don't know that much about. I mean, like I only like Auburn sports, but that's a good name for a podcast.
I know enough about.
Need to trademark that.
Right there.
Right there. So, anyways, but that's my week. So, just looking forward to this coming week. So, Chris, how was your week, buddy?
Man, it was all right. I got into a bit of an argument with a girl at work, and she's pregnant. And so
is it yours?
No. So we were just arguing.
Inquiring minds want to know, Chris.
I was trying to get her to shut up, so I was like, let's just drop this, or I'm going to stick my arm up in there and punch your baby in the face.
That went over about as well as saying, wow, you're hormonal this morning.
Anyways, he keeps his Cialis at the house. You know that, right?
She found it so funny that she just stopped arguing with me, though.
Nice. That is very descriptive.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say to that.
Wow.
That was good. That's about it.
All right. So my week was pretty typical. Went over to your in-laws' house this weekend, like you know, and took over a Boston Butt. It was fun hanging out, fun playing cornhole, and Auburn lost. That sucked.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, it's been a good week.
Actually, man, we got hosed in cornhole. All three of us lost to my sister-in-law's husband. And
I want to point out that Buddy, your father-in-law and I played. I think he scored 2 points the entire time.
Here we go.
Always an excuse.
It's always somebody else's fault.
Always an excuse.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Knew it was coming.
I mean, don't get.
Hey, can we talk about who's in last place in the pick'ems?
Yes, we can.
Fan mail? Time for
If you
fan
didn't know,
mail.
it was Steven. It was Steven.
It is. And Trey missed 2 or 3 games in his picks.
2. He missed 2, but it was only for 1 and 2 points. And then my man, that's God.
Granted, now you did close up a little bit. You're only 9 points behind Trey now.
Yeah. My number 10 pick was BYU. Like that's a big losing your 10 pick. That's a big loss. Plus, and I picked Auburn over Georgia, but I
only did it I did that too,
for 1 point.
So the breakdown for this week is the total points. I actually scored the most points. Trey took with 43. Trey took the second place with 39. Chris got 37, and you got 34, which brings the group totals up to Chris has 238. I have 218, so the comeback is still going strong. Trey has 207. Hey, I got 6 points up on you this week, and Steven's at 198.
There you go.
Hey, how close were y'all on the
I'm with him,
tiebreaker?
If my 10 point would have
Do you want to see my tiebreaker?
I was probably right there on it.
42 points.
Oh, you were closer than me. I put 40. I put 45. So the tiebreaker this week was how many total points will be scored in the Penn State versus Iowa game. I took 45. You said 42.
Yeah,
the final was 43. So we technically both busted anyways. But
I didn't bust. I was 1 under.
Oh, that's right. Good call. My bad. What
Hold on.
You gonna pull?
I gotta find mine.
All right. And while you're doing that, I actually we got some fan mail this week. We only got one.
Fan mail.
Is it from?
I was
Eric?
I was
No,
5
it's
over.
not.
I said 48 points.
48. Okay.
Which, hey, it probably would have happened if he would have just knocked that 4th down pass. You remember that when he intercepted it towards the end of the game? If he would have just knocked it down,
If he'd knocked it
they would
down.
have had a 2-yard line. And I guarantee you they would have said, "Screw this, we're punching it in."
Wow. Eric.
Eric.
Not Eric.
Eric.
Marcus sent us an email.
Herbadur, bro.
Yeah. What did I say last? Hurdy-wordy.
Herbadur, bro.
But no, I'm looking. I got this other email from. It's obviously a scam email, but it's just something about they're trying to get us to watch a video that explains the Matrix movies.
Oh, I've
The
seen that.
Matrix
I've seen
trilogy.
that. I think it's called The Matrix.
Yes, the Matrix revealed, deep analysis, some David Icke type shit. You know, I wonder if it's
The Lizard Illuminati.
the Moon Matrix is real. The lizard overlords, they're coming for us. Okay. Anyways, I'm not gonna read that. I'll read this one though. All right, here we go. This is from Marcus. Hello, I have a challenge for you, Stephen. Oh Christ.
Read a Dr. Seuss book without stuttering.
You do it first. If you can. Oh, God. If you can complete it without fail, I will stop using Hitler jokes. Fantastic. So the challenge is, if 2 witches would watch 2 watches, which witch would watch which watch? But it's the Swedish version of it. So do it in one try. Do it without fail, and I will stop teasing you. So here's the challenge. Okay, I actually did say that pretty good, you have to admit.
I'll give you credit on that.
Now, look at what his ass wrote. I guess this is the actual...
in Swedish?
I don't even know how to even start on
see.
this. This is the highlighted part there. Dude, there are like so many like J's and O's with like slash.
I don't fucking know. Marcus, what the fuck?
Let me see something. I want to see. Look at this. Let Chris look at this. It's a totally visual podcast, I know.
You should put that on the
It says Skittles and Jiu-Jitsu.
Skittles and Jiu-Jitsu.
You should copy that and put it on the Twitter DM group and see if somebody can translate it for you.
I mean, I could probably.
Marcus.
I just want to say that.
Besides Marcus,
Oh, here we go.
he doesn't count after that.
And I'll even give you a little helper, so study this video. Trey, Tuck, and Chris will be the judges. Good luck, or as we say in Sweden, laka till.
I wonder if Ellie could do it.
Ooh, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
of course.
fuck did you
Hold
do?
on. He sent it to YouTube video. All right,
Oh,
skip
you
him
better
there.
not.
Let's do 10 Swedish words. Tongue twister.
My name is
Sweet.
not Sven. It is Martin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've been nagging me about doing a tongue twister, so I thought I would do one today. A tungvrickare. And the
Tungvrickare.
tungvrickare I chose was 77 skönsjungande sjuksköterskor skötte 7 sjösjuka sjömän på skeppet.
Okay.
Just
But he's saying, there are no W's. It's all S's.
I guess
Are
that's
you-
how they pronounce it.
Are you here? Listen, are you hearing
Should have
this?
studied harder.
twister, so I thought I would do one today.
Look at this, come here, look. Because it puts the...
And the tungvrickare that I chose was 77 skönsjungande sjuksköterskor skötte 7 sjösjuka sjömän på skeppet I Shanghai. Let's do that a little quicker. 77 skönsjungande sjuksköterskor skötte 7 sjösjuka sjömän på skeppet I Shanghai. Yeah.
Shanghai.
Okay, so let's hear a
Who
few
is
other
this doing
people
it?
say
I
the
don't
same
know.
thing.
Okay.
So, man, that just totally throws my brain because I see a bunch of S's, and so I'm thinking it's skirty, 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 skirt, but it's hurty, 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 her. Who knew?
I don't know if I want to say what I want to say, but I kind of want to say what I want to say.
Okay, proceed.
The way he sounds makes me think about like when you're trying to have a conversation while a girl's giving oral to you.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, man.
Yeah, we're really doing a lot for our female audience
How
today.
you doing down there? Did you go shopping today?
Can you make me a sandwich when you finish?
That's what you get bit.
Oh, my God. Marcus, I don't think that's going to be one that is going to happen because, yeah. I mean, my English brain, I see too many S's and all I'm hearing is and now I'm thinking about...
Now the image is going to be stuck in your head.
Okay.
I mean, we can still keep making the Stephen and Hitler jokes. So did we get any downloads from Argentina this week?
Nope, just Brazil.
Argentina.
What was the other one? Oh, and Chile.
No, they could have migrated.
So moving on, as far as Twitter DM group, obviously is still a thing. We're been pretty active this week. I actually did a poll this week too about Hubie Halloween. And,
Hubie!
Yeah, so 67% of the people gave it 2 to 3 beers,
Nice.
and we had 33% give it 5+. So
Okay.
someone did not like Hubie,
That's fine.
but I mean, as far as our downloads go, I'll be honest, it's done really well. So
It's not everybody's cup of tea.
yeah,
It
it's
is what
fair.
it is.
It's fair. So
Just like T2 in that bullshit movie.
Or better yet, it's not everybody's bowl of soup. The thermos.
yeah, thermos is super.
I want that damn thermos though. You can't
It's
not
pretty-
want
No
that
shit.
thermos.
That
is
thermos was
pretty awesome.
badass.
You know what else you could put in the thermos?
No laws when you're drinking White Claws.
Figure it's been a minute.
Not long enough.
Speaking of White Claws, they're not White Claws, they're Bud Light seltzers. Promotion time. Go out and get your fall Bud Light seltzer flavors.
Oh my god!
It comes in pumpkin spice, toasted marshmallows.
And
I
your
don't
wife,
know what the hell else.
and your wife said they were
If you
terrible.
bring, if
I
you
know,
bring
right?
those over
Apple
for us
cider.
to
Actually, that's not a bad idea.
No.
We should do those.
do, no.
Your suggestion. I like your
No.
suggestion. Though,
I said
Tucker.
don't do it.
No, you said
I'm-
if you bring that over.
I'm
So-
going,
started
on, I'm
with
going on
if
the
you
I'm
bring it
going on the
over.
record right now. Don't do it.
Okay, let's do a vote.
Yes, I'm in.
I'm going to proxy
2-1.
Trey. I'm going to proxy Trey. and
I'm the
it's 2-2.
host. If I get a proxy, then it's going to be me.
Nope, Trey's not here. He sits on my side of the table. I'm proxying Trey.
I have to
It's a
look at
no.
him. Then yeah, I can get his proxy.
You may want to do that taste. Oh, you can just see Trey. Just go ahead and put a trash can bucket.
Yeah, make sure you bring
just
a bucket.
Yeah, a whole basket with you.
All right, let's keep on moving into the
Give me
movie.
a basket.
Trick or Treat. It was written and directed by Michael Dougherty, who has written a ton of other movies like X-Men 2, Superman Returns. He directed the new Godzilla, and he wrote Godzilla vs. Kong. Gojira. It stars Anna Paquin, Brian Cox, and Dylan Baker. It was now this is kind of weird. It was first screened on December 9th, 2007, but it was not released for DVD, Blu-ray until October 7th of 2009.
I don't remember it being in theaters. Either.
Never was in theaters.
Okay, so it was direct
when
to,
I say
direct
when
to DVD.
well, so it was screened a few places. Like they played it at like some Comic Cons stuff like
Right.
that. Damn, I meant to write this down. For some reason, yeah, they I think they had a distribution deal with someone, but then it fell through and it never got put out. Obviously, like on theaters, but then so. It was just it was basically direct to video, which is weird considering Anna Paquin, Brian Cox, and I mean it's a pretty
big cast.
it's a
in it.
pretty decent cast, and I mean for a movie like this, you'd think this would
When was it released?
originally it was finished in 2007, but it wasn't released on DVD until 2009. So it was shot on a budget, and listen to this budget, $12 million, which is not a small. That's not a small budget
Not
for
a huge budget either.
yeah, but I mean, which is $15.8 million today. Box office haul, there was none because it wasn't released in the theaters. But they estimate that the DVD and Blu-ray sales are $12.3 million.
So,
Or
so
16.
basically broke even.
Yeah, made it. And they've got, since it's come out, they've had in development a sequel to it. Like it shows, if you go to the director's page, it's got Trick or Treat 2 in like as a future movie.
Yeah, but it's from what I read on it, it's been stuck in development hell
Yeah,
for
basically.
Years now.
Yeah.
Obviously.
So
It's 10 years now.
I know,
Well,
right?
more than 10.
Ratings. IMDb gives it a 6.8 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes has it at 83%. Metacritic does not have anything because they were only critical reviews, but they were both very positive. Variety gave it 70%, and AV Club gave it 67%. And the Metacritic user reviews are overwhelmingly positive to the tune of 7.9. Google users.
You go first.
I'm going to go with 73%.
See, I'm going higher. I'm going to go with 78, only because it's got a cult following to it.
87.
Wow.
I was going to go
Okay.
80s, but
That's one of the highest Google user movies that we've
What
done
was-
to this
it's
point.
mainly because, like you said,
What
like I
was,
said, it has a cult
Breakfast Club?
following.
Breakfast Club? I don't remember.
I'm going to look it up.
And obviously, I assume this is the first time we all saw this movie like this week.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is weird because I do like horror. Breakfast Club is 93%.
Okay. Still,
I do
though,
like,
87 is pretty
horror
high.
movies, but I had never heard of this or seen this.
Yeah, I think I want to say I've like seen the cover for it and stuff like that, but I'd never. I mean, I'm okay with horror movies or whatever, but I don't know. I just never.
I've seen it on. I know I've seen it on HBO Max and Hulu and stuff, but I never caught my interest enough to click on it.
Well, I think when you see the little guy with the big head who's called Sam, you kind of go, creepy kid. Those kind of creep you out a little extra, I think.
Yeah, they do. Right, the Field of Corn or whatever it's called.
Children of the Corn.
Children
Yeah,
of the
they-
Corn.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah, creepy kids are creepy for a reason.
The Good Child.
I don't think I saw that one.
That's an
Yeah.
old movie with Macaulay Culkin where he's like
Oh,
a fucking serial
yeah,
killer.
yeah.
He's like a 9-year-old serial
He
killer.
gets adopted, right, and he kills his whole family or something.
No, he was he adopted? That's
think
been
he
so long
was.
since
I think
I've
he
seen
was,
it. He
yeah.
he may have been, or a cousin or something.
Yeah.
It's got that
Yep.
guy from Robin Hood Men in Tights in it.
Yeah,
Carrie Elways or whatever.
Carrie Ells.
Yeah.
Our Princess Bride guy, whatever.
He was in both.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Carrie Ells.
I don't know his name.
How do you not know who that is? Really?
I mean, I don't know his name. I know who he
Because
is.
right now he's trying not to die. He's devoting all of his mental capacity to keeping his heart going.
You're not kidding, man. Right now, I am. Man.
Well,
Struggling.
so when we were coming up with ideas for stuff to do for Halloween this month, actually, I just kept going to stuff. I wanted to do something new and different that I haven't done, that I've never seen, like this.
Yeah.
And so I actually asked a girl in my office, and she gave me 3 options. She said this was her number 1 pick. A movie called, I think it was called The Child or something, was number 2, and then she gave me the original Psycho. So I went with this, and then also, so she loves this movie, and then also Haley says she freaking loves this movie too. And we talked about it for 10 minutes.
Interesting.
Why?
That's just interesting.
Just is. Oh, that sucks.
We'll talk later on.
Yeah, so
And
why
this.
don't we dive into the movie and tear it apart?
All right.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Go into detail.
So the film opens up to an old school film highlighting some of the rules of Halloween. Cut to a kid pulling a wagon in front of a car that almost hits him. A couple is walking home and obviously did not have a good time in Halloween. The woman blows out the candle as the husband warns her not to do it, that doing it too early, she might make someone mad. We switch from somewhat different point of view, presumably the quote-unquote bad guy. Whoops, I spelled bad gay.
Little Freudian slip there, big guy.
Yeah, I was thinking about you. The husband wants to have sex, obviously, but she wants to take the direct decorations down. She relents and tells him to go inside and put on the tape. As she starts taking the decorations down, super sexy, right? As she removes the decorations, she gets freaked out by a guy in a mask that's staring at her. But we find out it's just a kid waiting for a ride. She is then attacked by a sheet and has her throat cut by a pumpkin lollipop inside the sheet, as her husband sleeps with porn on. He comes out searching for her and finds her dismembered bodies under the sheet with a lollipop grotesquely shoved in her mouth. I love the super dramatic music
Yeah.
that goes into the credits and everything. Okay, so we cut to the intro credits, which gives some history of what we're about to see. There's 4 tales, Sam, some of the character names, that the Warren Valley, Ohio's the setting, Halloween night. Always check your candy, along with some foreshadowing images. We see Laurie and Mr. Krieg. it opens back up to a close-up of a bag being drugged down the street. Occasionally, we pan up to see what we find out later on are other characters in the movie. The scene changes, and a box tells us that this is earlier. There's a Halloween party downtown. A newscaster tells how Warren Valley takes Halloween very seriously. In a costume store, some girls are changing and talking about picking up dudes, and there's a kid peeping on them. The girls all come out in sexy princess costumes, and while Lori is dressed as Little Red Riding Hood, and one of them hits on the cashier. Next, the kid from Bad Santa.
Yeah.
You know the movie? Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. So the kid from Bad Santa is walking down the street, smash. Did you actually watch this? Why are you looking at me like that?
I'm listening.
Okay, I just want to make sure. The kid from Bad Santa is
I don't
walking.
think he watched these.
I know. He's like, oh, this is.
He's weirdly focused today for some reason.
So the kid from Bad Santa
Did you pull a tray?
No, because he's going to get to his principal's house. And the principal's going to give him a candy bar that's going to be a trick, not a treat.
There you go.
Okay.
And he barfs out his whole guts and all because it's poison.
The kid from Bad Santa
I gave it away.
is walking down the street smashing pumpkins. He comes to a house that has a sign saying, take only one candy, so he starts taking handfuls and is caught. The girls are walking down the street, and Lori is getting advice about being a virgin at 22, just like Tucker. They pass a couple from the opening sequence. Maria and Janet show her how to hit on guys. Okay, interesting sequence.
All right, so
there's a lot of switching around. So.
There is. So one of the things, I was kind of surprised that Emma. Do you know who that is, right?
Yeah, which one is that?
That's the one that got the lollipop shoved in her mouth.
Oh yeah.
You know who that is, right? Her name is Leslie Bibb. She's been in a lot of stuff, but she's
either which way something was going to be shoved in her mouth that night.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I know, right?
I recognize her, but I can't place her.
Well, yes, that was me. I know I've seen her in a lot of stuff, but I'm going to give you some of the movies she's been in.
Okay.
She's been in Talladega Nights. She's been in Law Abiding Citizen. Oh, hold on. She's been in the movie Tag, which is actually really good if you never saw it. It's got Jeremy Renner and some other people in it. Trick or Treat. There was one more I wanted to say before I get the big ones. She was in Howard Stern's Private Parts, if you ever saw that.
What was she in that? She wasn't the wife, was she?
I'd have to go back and look to see, but
yeah.
I'm looking at this. I know because I've seen that movie. I just can't remember who she is.
Yeah, I can't either.
But the big thing is she's been in a lot of Marvel movies.
Yes, I did look that up.
She has been in a lot of Marvel movies. She was the reporter in the first Iron Man that goes back to Tony Stark's place.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. And she's reprised that role, which is a small role.
Yeah. But she's been in multiple movies.
She's been in several. She's been in a lot of stuff. So I was surprised.
She's part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, I was surprised that an actor that's got as big of a listing as she's got, because she's got 40 movies, only had 5-6 minutes of screen time.
Yep, first one killed.
Yeah, and then it was done. It was. You realize pretty quickly it's shot in a very non-linear fashion.
Yeah,
and it's very, very hard to keep track of. But
sometimes that can work out, though. I mean, take a movie like Pulp Fiction. That's definitely non-linear, but somehow
Memento?
It manages to work out. Lost Highways.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that one.
But I mean, there's just movies
Once
where it
Upon a Time
actually
in America?
does.
Fuck that movie. Number 2, baby. Number 2.
It just made it kind of hard to keep track of everything and everybody.
So we're in this first part, and she tells him to go upstairs and put a video on, right?
Yeah.
Would you still be in your costume?
Depends on how drunk I was.
I mean,
are you talking about the guy?
Yeah, the guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's the one that wants to have sex, and he's the one that goes upstairs and then passes out.
Yeah.
You've never done that in college.
No, I'd go upstairs. I'd be naked, just waiting on her.
No, I'd be out there with her, busting out, getting all that stuff put up. Come on, huh? We got to get to it.
No, see that's my first note I have is who takes down Halloween decorations on Halloween night?
Because her mother's coming.
Who the fuck cares? It's Halloween.
Maybe her mother's like a deep voted like Catholic or something like that doesn't like appreciate.
Then she needs to respect my beliefs in my house because I'm not taking my Halloween decorations on Halloween. We
don't get the background story.
Well, especially when you're coming back from a party drunk. Who's really caring that much?
Doesn't he say we're both, or doesn't she say we're both lit?
Yeah.
Yeah. One of them does. I can't remember which one.
Yeah,
she does when she's taking off her suit.
And here's the thing. So I think in the news tracking or the news talk sequence, she says it's like only 8:00. So they're coming home.
Who the fuck is that lit at 8:00 on Halloween?
Exactly. And starts taking down Halloween. I mean, their kids still trick or treating at 8:00. You're dwindling out at that point, but still.
Yeah.
If this is Hubie Halloween, to be midnight. They're still trick or treating.
I know, right?
Well, Hubie would never have let her get stabbed with a lollipop either.
This whole movie would have ended if you had Hubie and his thermos.
Hubie and his thermos could have stopped Sam.
I'm pretty sure a lightsaber would have came out of that thing.
So speaking of the party at the downtown wherever, like
that's what I want. I want a Hubie Halloween thermos with a lightsaber.
That had a very Mardi Gras type, or not maybe not Mardi Gras, but what's that celebration down in South America?
Day of the Dead?
Day of the Dead ceremony.
Something
Muerte. It's something Muerte.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I'm saying. So
I'm going to Google that while
who
better Google that shit.
Who has the
GTS baby?
Who has a Halloween party like that, like in the town? You know.
Well, Hubie, up in Salem, Massachusetts.
I'd give you maybe Salem.
I feel like probably like New Orleans would probably have a party like that.
Okay, Day of the Dead. The Day of the Dead festival is Dia de Muertos or Dia de los Muertos.
Where the hell is this taking place at, anyways? Did anybody ever figure that out?
It was a fictional
Ohio.
city in Ohio.
Yeah.
I did look that up.
Well, shit, there may not be anything really going on there. They
Warren Valley. Yeah, Warren Valley, Ohio is the
kind of like those people up in Nebraska that are celebrating corn festival and shit.
I will say this: I looked up
in your ass.
After Hubie Halloween. I looked up Salem, Massachusetts, and it's not a small town. Like, because here's one of the things I had about that, and I have the same problem with this one. Is you see everyone is walking everywhere. There's no cars, right?
Okay. Or there's very few.
Well, but but when we go, I don't know if you've been trick or treating recently, but when we go trick or treating, there's a ton of
Let's
cars.
just say it's been a minute.
Yeah, so there's a ton of cars because they're always driving and dropping kids off.
And now it's not even so much trick or treat. Now they have more of a trunk or treat, where people drive their cars to like a parking lot and open up their trunks or let down their tailgates.
I feel like, I mean, here's a problem I had with the movie. When is this supposed to be taking place? What year?
2007,
Yeah.
8, 9, yeah.
Roughly present.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes on in that movie where you're just like, that would not be applied for now.
Yeah, I didn't see a single smartphone in that movie.
Well, it's 2009. Well, let's say this: if it was screened in 2007, it was probably December of 2007. So I mean, you're talking
iPhones were out,
but they weren't. I just don't think they were as ubiquitous as they are now.
So here's my part with that.
Androids were out.
You're comparing it. So you're saying even in the early 2000s, know what you were saying with the cell phones and stuff like that and everything. You take your kids out now, trick or treating. Everybody's driving their cars around town.
Yeah.
2007, you weren't trick or treating with kids.
No,
you're in
I was
college.
not. Yes,
right. So you probably don't remember what all was going on during that time period.
Not really.
Get what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, I was at
there was the great clown scare around that time.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And let's really face it, as each years and decades go by, the laser we get.
I mean,
people are probably more prone to walk around their neighborhoods.
So what about the character that Dylan Baker played? The school principal or assistant principal, whatever he was.
We hadn't gotten there yet.
He did. Yeah, he did. He talked about the...
Well, yeah.
He's taking all the candy out of the basket.
Yeah, but you don't know who he is yet. But yeah, I mean...
okay. Well, yeah, then...
Oh, yeah, that he just got caught.
Yeah, that's got caught by the principal, right?
Kind of hadn't gotten there yet. Let's see. What else? The kid from Bad Santa that smashed all the pumpkins. I also find that one kind of hard to believe, because if I saw some kid walking in the streets just literally just smashing pumpkins, I would have been like, "Hey, what are you doing? Like, stop!
Cut that shit out."
Yeah.
And that kid would say "fuck you" and keep going.
Kind of like
yeah,
that story you were telling us the other day, or was that? No, it was the one that your wife told us.
Which one did she tell you?
That she saw two kids fighting.
Oh yeah.
Did you didn't hear this? This was over at their house. Well, you tell it.
Oh, so she was picking my daughter up from the car line, and she got there kind of late, I think. And anyway, so she was one of the last cars. About that time is whenever they let the walkers go, people walking home. Well, she pulls up, and this one kid is just, third graders, this one kid is just pounding on this other kid, just beating the mess out of him. So
the kid on bottom should have learned jiu-jitsu.
So she calls him over to her car, and when she does, the one kid that was pounding on the other kid is on his bike, does like a...
Hey, look.
Shot to his crotch and all, and then just flips her a bird and rides his bike off.
Doesn't he say fuck you?
No, he just shoots her a bird and rides off on his bike.
Classy.
But the other kid tells on him, says his name and all. So I mean, they know the kid's name.
Well, raising kids well.
Yeah, just. I mean, Taylor could explain a dent in the door. She just ride up next to him and open the car door.
Y'all didn't get any...
Oh, I'm sorry, fucker. I didn't see you there.
But here's my thing: as a boy, y'all didn't get any fights whenever y'all were in third grade.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. I lived in an apartment complex. We had just moved here to this town, and well, not this town, but the town over. We had just moved, and we had an apartment complex, and there was these kids that were the same age as us, the older brother and the younger brother, and so we were always getting into fights with those two kids. Like, I mean, fist fights with those two kids.
Yeah, we got into I got into pushing and shoving matches, but I never
It was
never
always
a fist fight.
It was over nothingness. Like, literally
Well, it typically
nothingness.
is, but when you're in third grade, somebody breaking your pencil
No.
is a huge deal.
This is nothingness. This is like other kids egging on. You know, like, you can beat him up. You know, and that's
And so you
literally
get into
it.
a fight over that.
Hell yeah, I can.
That's it. She shouldn't have been swinging on me.
Look, here's the deal. I'm gonna tell you right now. You,
I'll reach
you
up
ever
and
want to
punch
pick
your
me
baby.
up? You ever want to y'all come to jiu-jitsu class? I'll put you in the kids class.
Anyways,
Y'all
Whoop
can
up on
y'all
us.
can beat up on some 8-year-olds.
actually, that does kind of sound like some fun.
Get Trey in there and it'll be perfect.
I think you'd have too much fun at that point.
I'll be sitting there. You are all in big, big trouble.
O'Doyle rules.
Doyle, I got a whole feeling your whole family's going down, but for now, I got to study. All right, so the man and the candy stealer that he's talking to are talking. He pulls out a knife and he starts to carve a pumpkin. He talks about how his dad told him the traditions of Halloween and that they were started to protect us, but now no one cares. The boy then starts coughing and gurgling. The man tells of another tradition, to always check your candy, as the boy starts violently vomiting. He collapses into the man's lap and he struggles to bring the boy inside, getting bloody vomit on him. The trick-or-treaters come in. Trick-or-treaters come, and we find out that this is Principal Wilkins. After they all get some candy and take off, we see Sam, the little boy with a sack on his head, that is also trick-or-treating. The girls then get. This is going back to the Anna Paquin character, Laurie. The girls get in a van with some guys, leaving Laurie. Inside Wilkins' house, we can see how he laced his candy, and he drags he drags the body out back, and we see there are other bodies in an already dug hole. When his son starts screaming at him from the window.
Daddy! I'm back from trick-or-treating!
Billy, shh. Please be quiet.
Why?
Because you'll bother the neighbors. Go watch Charlie Brown, and I'll be in a minute.
Charlie Brown's an asshole!
I love that. I love that. He's trying to literally hide a body, and he's like, "Hey, Dad!" Next, a dog starts barking at him, so Wilkins throws him a finger. The neighbor comes out looking for the dog, and so Wilkins hops in the holes, and it seems one of the bodies isn't actually dead. The neighbor and Wilkins have a heated exchange, and Billy comes back out and yells again, and Wilkins smashes whoever grabbed him with a shovel. Wilkins is then watering a tree in the filled-in hole, complaining about his kid bothering him as he walks inside. The neighbor gets his attention Jesus fuck. Mm-hmm. The neighbor gets his attention, which Wilkins ignores, and then we see the neighbor being tackled inside his home. He comes inside and is scared by Billy. They go downstairs to carve the pumpkin. We are definitely led to believe that Wilkins is about to kill his own son. As he approaches and he places his hand on his son's head.
Let's carve a scary face this time.
Kid's fucking creepy.
Scary face it is.
I was definitely getting some Ted
Yeah.
Bundy vibes
Yeah.
off of the principal.
I love this part.
But don't forget to help me with the heist.
And it pans over and we see that the candy thief's head is on a lazy Susan, and they smile.
Yeah.
That was
Fucking creepy.
fucking creepy, man.
So I have a question. When y'all were when we were watching this movie, I know when that kid started violently throwing up, I was thinking that maybe the principal laced it with Ipecac or something, and he wasn't trying to kill the kid.
Oh yeah.
And then
My first-
you see the shirts covered in blood. I'm like, oh, whoa,
Oh, yeah.
hold up,
Yeah.
hold the fuck up.
I thought that it was going to be really, I thought that you're going to have see a razor blade shoot out of his neck, that he ate a razor blade.
No, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be razor blade too.
Because that's what the
So what do you think he laced it with?
So if the first time they go through the house, you see a table and there's all these different chemicals and poison stuff on the table and a candy bar.
I missed that.
Exactly.
I missed that. Okay.
So yeah. So yeah, I can't remember exactly what was on there, but because that's one of the things I said. Wilkins is leaving the candy out, that the lace candy out, which seems dangerous because
That's fucked up.
But then you realize that the boy knows,
Right.
and so he knows not to eat the candy.
But I was gonna say he goes trick or treating too.
The boy
When
does.
he comes back. Mm-hmm. Does he eat the candy they got from trick or treating, or does he have like second like guessing? Like,
Yeah, and
hold
how many-
on, is there somebody else that's like my dad? Because I'm sure he thinks his dad's normal, right?
There's no way. There's
Well,
no
I mean, if you've
way.
grown up that way,
I
mean,
get
what if
I
every
get what
single
you-
year
No.
he was killing people?
Well, and
I get what
here's-
you're saying, but no, there's no way you think that kind of behavior is normal. Hey, my dad's killing people my age, and
He sees the hole in the backyard and the body, and he's just talking normal to his dad out the window. He's not like, "What
I
are you
get
doing,
that.
Dad?"
So he's a
You
fucking
know?
psychopath too, but he still knows it's
Okay,
not normal.
but that's normal then.
No, it's not.
To a psychopath, that is normal
Ted Bundy even said that he knew what he was doing was wrong, but he did it anyway.
because it's normal to him.
Well, he normalized it.
Exactly.
To himself.
But that's
There you
not.
go, so he
that's-
normalized
no,
it.
but that's not normal.
So in your head,
He's not-
in
and
your
I-
head. If you're this kid and you're
I
out
think-
trick or treating, would you think that
I think normalized.
and your
is the wrong
dad,
word.
you have normalized your dad to poisoning
No,
kids?
you might can rationalize it, and you might can distance yourself from what you're doing, but you don't think that there's no part of you that thinks that's fucking normal.
I mean, I'll give you some credit
There
just
is.
because you've actually talked to murderers, I guess, probably. But
He's
but
got
I
to catch one first.
but I see. so my next note is actually as willy-nilly as he is about killing everyone. The bodies in the backyard. I'm surprised Wilkins hadn't been caught. Are we sure this doesn't take place in Opelika, where Tucker's a detective?
So here's my question: how many other candy bars did he lace that got picked up and carried off?
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, think about it.
few.
He's just sitting on his steps. He hands this kid, I guess, obviously a lace. Maybe he had just one that he kept that he was going to specifically give out to someone breaking the rules. But he did it on his front porch. You know, he didn't go, "Hey, come inside and eat this candy bar." He was like, "Here you go, front porch." Kid starts vomiting.
Yeah,
There's
but
all
the-
these people running around. No one sees anything.
But it's dark. There was no porch
he
lights
did. He
on.
cut off his porch light.
Yeah, there were no porch lights on. There's a little bit of ambient light, but there wasn't a lot of like direct light on them. So
Which is a rule. You don't go to the house with the porch light off.
It's fair.
And this is why.
Sam would have gotten you.
I mean,
don't break the rules.
look, he's,
Do y'all realize that's what he's doing, right? I know it's kind of
he told
me,
explained
yeah.
also. So yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know. It's fucking weird. I would think that there would be some warning bells going off with people with that principle on Monday morning when it's you can't hide that level of fucked up for too long.
Well, I mean,
from who though? I mean, he's obviously got a lot of shrubbery around his yard. The only person that can see him is his schizophrenic neighbor.
Well, and considering what else we find out about him that he gets up to, it's I mean, it is very surprising he has not gotten caught yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know? But yeah, I agree. Like, there were 3 bodies in that hole, and I'm assuming that's not including the headless kid.
No, because you see him toss it in there. I thought.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay. So there's 3 bodies. So he killed 2 others.
But how many other holes does he have? I mean, there were like some other shrubs and trees in that backyard.
It's fair. I don't know.
This wasn't his first rodeo doing it.
It was definitely not his first time. And I'd like that's a good thought, though. I like the thought process of the boy, my dad kills people and he laces, the candy out. But I'm not worried about anyone else giving me laced candy and ended up vomiting my guts out and dying.
That's what I'm saying. He's got to have that in the back of his head.
Maybe it's like he said, though. He knows, hey, what we do is not what everyone else does, whether you want to call it normal or not, quote unquote, normal or abnormal.
Of course, he said always check your candy. So obviously there's a dead giveaway on the wrapper that he's probably taught his son about.
I guess that's probably part of it. So never mind how long it would take to dig that hole for the bodies. How long? I mean, he filled it in pretty quick too.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I hate when you see movies like this. You see them dig these graves.
Yeah.
And they have perfectly straight lines.
square
that
size.
looks like they were dug out by a fucking excavator.
Because they were.
Yeah, well, I mean, you watch.
excavator.
I don't know who's watched the TV
Hey,
show
Dirt,
Supernatural.
see you later. I'm not watching
What is
too
it?
many
The
seasons.
TV show Supernatural.
Oh, of course. Yeah. They
Like-
even make jokes about that in the show.
Yeah, they dig up these graves to salt and burn the bodies because that gets rid of ghosts apparently.
Yeah.
But they always dig them up, and it takes them like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
To move, I'm assuming several hundred pounds, if not a couple of tons of
Yep.
dirt. And it's always a perfectly straight line, and it's just.
There was one episode where they had someone else, and I think it was one of the episodes where it was kind of a meta episode where someone one of the guys.
There was an episode where they were on a TV set, but they were trapped on a TV set.
Yeah.
So
No. This is a different one because you had the guy that wrote the books about them.
Yeah.
But it's like their actual story and everything. And I think one of the guys says, "Oh, this seemed a lot easier in the books," or like it seemed a lot easier on TV or something like that.
Yeah.
And I thought that's a good little wink to.
And that was one of the things about that show is it did make fun of itself. That's why it was such a great show.
Yeah, I agree. I stopped watching like season 10, but
Yeah,
I need
missed
to
the
finish
last
it.
2 or 3
I've not
seasons.
seen it.
did you
I've
finish
actually-
it?
I've
No,
actually-
somebody actually recommended it to me, and I pulled it up. I saw 15 seasons, and I was like, "Screw that!"
I actually restarted
I'm
it.
not
It's
watching
good.
15 seasons.
I mean, you're talking 15 seasons, 20 plus episodes, 45 minutes per episode.
Because here's the problem: if I get watching something or doing anything,
Do it.
I gotta do it all the way through.
Yeah, I know.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
So,
Do it.
it takes me like if I play a video game, it takes me forever because I gotta do every achievement, everything I can do on there, and then I'll go online and look up other achievements, and I'll be like, I gotta do that shit now.
You will regret it if you don't watch it because it is a great show.
It really is a good show. Have you ever? We might have talked about this. Star Wars, Rise of the Old Republic or whatever it is, Knights of the Old Republic.
No, I've never played. I wanted to play it, but
KOTOR.
never played it.
Dude, did you see they're remaking that, right?
I thought they were doing Knights 2 or 3. They were
No,
coming out with a new
they're
game.
remastering the original.
I know it does a good job in going on the
But
back characters and all
you
that.
You want to talk about
Some of the
wanting
old
to
Sith Lords.
you want to talk about like the history of the Sith and all stuff, and
Yeah.
you want to talk about just stuff to do because you have to play through it at least twice because you play through it once is good because the way you interact with other people, you have different options, and it influences your character being aligned to the light or dark.
Yeah,
And
that
so
was
you-
a big thing they did back then.
It was awesome. God, it was so much fun. So
I
and
remember when
it
Fable did that crap.
affects the end of the game too, which is kind of cool. And just you lose companions going either way, being too good or being too light. You'll lose companions and gain some others. So, okay. Anything else?
Stevens used to go either way.
Got him.
I got my purple saber.
Today, Junior!
I don't know if that's not the right really one, but we're gonna go with it. Okay. The trick-or-treaters from Wilkins' house go to another house with an obviously drunk Mrs. Henderson, which was my mom a couple of years ago before she got remarried. A crazy party is happening in the background. They're collecting pumpkins for something. As they approach the house with a ton of carved pumpkins, a girl in a witch costume comes out, who they say is an idiot savant. We meet
That's not what they call her.
Well,
No, it's
they
not.
call her something else, but they also call her an
What
idiot
do they
savant.
call her?
I'm not going to say
What do
it.
they call her?
You know what they
Rhonda,
call her.
the
What was it, Steven?
The R word.
It's
Hard R.
what is it?
I'm not saying it
Why not?
because I don't want to offend
we'll just
anyone.
say Rhonda the reject.
There you go.
No, that's not what they call her.
Idiot.
No, it's not what they
it's-
called her, but we're not.
If
gonna
you
say
don't
that.
say it, I'm going to.
Well, you say it and I'll cut it out later. We meet Schrader at the Halloween party downtown.
So
People
we
are.
be a shredder.
It sounded like she said traitor to me.
Oh, I thought you said shredder. I was like, what is
Schrader,
it,
Schrader.
Ninja Turtle time or something.
At the Halloween party downtown, excuse me, people are making out, and we find a couple in an alley really enjoying themselves. When the woman realizes that she has blood all over her, and she freaks out. She runs out screaming for help, and we see the couple from the beginning again, and he says that she's just drunk. She turns, and the man is behind her. I scream, and it cut to black. She is shown sitting down, and the masked man closes her eyes and walks off into the crowd. The kids are then walking through the woods, and Rhonda gives a very detailed history of Halloween. They arrive at the rock quarry, and we learn about the school bus massacre.
What the kids didn't know was that over the years, their parents had become exhausted,
This is a kind of long
embarrassed,
clip.
and they were willing to do anything to ease their burden.
I cut some of the
So
stuff.
one day, the parents approached the bus driver and made him an offer. With the money they collected together, they asked him to do the unthinkable. It almost worked perfectly.
Wrong way. I want to go home.
All the kids are chained into this bus, by the way.
The driver was never heard from again.
The girl tells that the bus was so deep it couldn't be found, or the town didn't want to find it, and that it's still there with the kids inside. She tells that the collected pumpkins are to be left by the side of the lake as an offering to those who died. 3 of the kids descend as Rhonda and the boy, there's another boy, a little boy, are left. Lori Lori walks and sees all the couples. When her sister calls, she sees the masked man, and she tells her that she's got a guy for her, and we see a dude in a diaper. There's a howl, and it cuts back to the quarry. Rhonda says, werewolves, as they ride the elevator down, and they hear the kids supposedly getting attacked as their pumpkins get extinguished. Rhonda goes to investigate.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
So there's a little bit of foreshadowing there at the end where the guy pops out of the water. Mm-hmm. That breathing that you hear was actually added post-production because of that character, the older that I don't want to give it away, but we're going to get there anyways. How that character breathes as an adult, he's got that wheezing sound, and that was added because it wasn't originally in that shot.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Kind of give you a little early, like might know who this guy is.
Almost like an Easter egg.
You could have just left it though that way. I mean,
So-
Without him
it was
wheezing?
because it was a younger
Yeah.
him
What-
and now an older him.
What group of parents gets together and go, hey, you know what?
Let's get
Let's
fucking
kill
smashed.
all our kids.
Oh yeah.
Well, this is a effed up town, anyways.
I mean, yes, it is.
Well, and
But-
if this is early 2009, let's say that the character that Brian Cox is playing, he's, let's call it 70.
Yeah, I'd probably go that far. It probably falls in the 70s and all. Right there with
So
Halloween.
40 years before that.
Yeah.
So I mean, not that that's acceptable. I mean, but it's. I think the whole point here is it's a hugely fucked up situation.
No, it is. But I'm saying what group of parents gets together and then go to the school bus driver, because obviously bus drivers, you're not doing that job for the money. You're doing it because you like kids. And go, hey, here's all of our combined life savings from all these different parents.
From eight sets of parents.
8 sets of parents. We want you to kill our kids. Somebody in that group is going to the fucking cops.
I mean, you're not wrong. So I actually read in the trivia that all the kids that played those kids themselves had like a disability or some sort of something wrong with
That's
them.
pretty good.
I thought that was a pretty cool little, even though you never see them, but to put them under the mat. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a cool.
Kind of like The Ringer.
Yes, exactly. No, it's
I mean,
Something
no.
like that. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're going to have the person play the role, have the person play the role.
yeah. So what does that say about Johnny Knoxville?
I mean,
I actually enjoyed
Dead
that
on.
movie. You couldn't make it today.
It was
but
a good movie.
It was a good movie.
Yeah.
and he did a great job.
So that adult
Jeffy
party,
Dahmer.
that adult party,
Oh, my Lanta.
where Miss Henderson answers, she obviously drunk and offers the kids a drink.
The pig in the background.
Who dude? Again, who parties like that on Halloween, especially at her age? I mean, I know that's getting to be our age.
We got a
but
lot
Your
of
mom.
swingers out there.
no.
We have groups of swingers.
You think that's what they were?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were swingers. It was a
Nice.
swinger party that night.
I
Probably had a
can
lot
see
of
your mom
upside-down
doing that
pineapples.
after getting into some ancient age.
Anyways, white rocks out front.
Yeah, I bet you can probably find somebody carrying an upside down pineapple. In the
I was
city.
just about to go there.
I never even thought about it, and I wasn't even watching. But that makes pretty good sense though.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. Just a big old swinger party. Gotta be.
Even on Halloween, if a woman comes out screaming for help and is bloody, you would think somebody would help her, right? I find that fairly unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, no, because there's
Was she
You
really
look-
screaming?
you
She
look
was just
back
like
to-
all out
she-
of breath. You couldn't figure out what's going on.
you look at what happened to Kitty Genovese in New York. I mean, there's lots of case studies that show people don't help.
People don't help. Well,
That's so
the
true.
other question I have is why did she just stop? Like she stopped, she fell and grabbed the woman in the.
Yeah, why don't you just keep running?
Why didn't you not? Yeah, keep running. I don't understand. I didn't understand that either.
I guess she figured that she was done with.
I wonder if whatever was bit or cut was an artery.
Blood loss.
Yeah.
Or it could be the fact that he does do a lot with poisons.
That's
So
I
he
thought you were
could
kind of
have.
going that way
I
as
mean,
well.
that could work too, but there was a lot of blood there, and it looked like there was. I mean, you got a brachial artery here,
Mm-hmm.
you got your femoral artery in your legs, you got. I mean, there's arteries and veins that he could have cut,
Yeah.
but he also. I mean, you're right. He also could have done some kind of poison, but it's just like a lot of blood. So I'm
Yeah.
going with blood loss.
Could have cut her and put the poison in there.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true too. The girl telling the legend of the school bus and all that stuff. Now, do y'all have any I've got one from where I grew up, but do y'all have any our hometown legends, stuff like that? Do you remember from being a kid
Oh, we got one here in Auburn.
in Auburn?
Yeah. You remember over there off of Antelope, that little white building? You know what I'm talking about? It's
Yeah.
got the little creek. The whole story, it's not real. The whole story is that some little girl died and the people keep the house there for that reason.
Really?
But it's not true. It's not true at all.
So there was every Halloween, and if y'all have never done it, there's the Historical Society or the
I have done it. I have a
Society have a walking ghost tour through downtown Auburn.
Huh.
I know they've got one at the.
I didn't know they did that.
They do one at the cemetery.
You meet at Toomers and you walk to the library and some other places.
Wow.
But the time we went, the guy had like EMF recordings and stuff. So I mean, it was a legit ghost walk. It was fun.
That's pretty awesome.
So
you can find it on Facebook.
Speaking of ghost walk, I've
And
done that.
and it's dog friendly.
Now I've gone to Savannah, Georgia, and they're done their haunted pub crawl.
Yes, we've done that.
That is
I've
fun.
never done that.
Oh my gosh, so much fun.
They do. They
usually
do.
leave out. They tell you. When I went, there was this guy from like Massachusetts that was leading our group, and he leave out. He was like, "All right, our next stop is going to be about a beer and a half walk, so you might want to grab your 2 beers on your way out." It was great though. I mean, he was an awesome guy, but it was just awesome that he would tell you, "Okay, we don't got that far of a walk, so just grab 1 beer."
Grab 1 beer.
That's actually not a bad. That's not a bad rule because
It was pretty fun. I mean, you got to bypass. It's awesome because you got to bypass the lines.
driving
people,
from
they're
driving
going
from
into
here
the
to
bars.
Montgomery is a 2-beer drive. So
I'm not going to ask how you know that.
Kidding.
But
Jeez.
we have
Except
that.
he's not.
You have in Spring Villa, you have the 13th step.
Yeah.
So you got that here.
We had
you
one.
Have, I mean, you got a couple houses in Opelika. They're like
There was
quote-unquote haunted.
one of the guy that did the ghost tour here in Auburn. He was a university student, and I think he was a history major. I went up to talk to him. It was really cool. We had some mutual friends, but he actually discovered an unknown Indian burial mound out in Beauregard.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
He wrote his thesis on that.
Opelika. Oh, for India.
Yeah.
You also got one there off of India that
No,
people
this
claim-
was no.
that's what people claim is the Indian burial ground.
This one was out in
India.
this one was out in Beauregard, but he actually found it, and he wrote his thesis or something on that for his PhD.
That's pretty.
So it was kind of cool.
That is pretty cool.
Do y'all believe in all that stuff? Ghost?
I don't know. I mean, I remember being scared of stuff like that as a kid. I had not really as an adult. I mean, I don't not believe it, but I would like, if there's some proof, I'd like to see it.
So here's my question: are we talking
In
like,
person.
Are we
Yeah.
are we talking
Yeah.
like
Well, kind of. I don't know, because if I see something in person, it might actually kill me.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
Well,
you,
no,
get-
are
you
we- are
got, you got all these shows that you can watch with
Yeah.
paranormal investigations and all that.
Yeah, but
that
I don't
you can
believe any of that
watch.
shit.
are we
It's
really
talking?
talking?
I get into those and I'll watch those. I'll admit it, but it's like I don't believe none of that shit. But I still watch it.
Yeah.
No clue. I
Well-
think it's for the history part of it.
Are we talking like supernatural or exorcist or
I've already had-
poltergeist
Where they can
where they
hurt
can
you?
hurt you, or are we talking about restless spirits that haven't moved on to the afterlife?
Yes.
because I think there's two different categories.
Just in general. I mean, do you believe any of that stuff?
I mean, I'm definitely.
I would go more towards the restless spirit stuff and listening to not necessarily like ghost adventures or any of that shit, but we've done some ghost tours.
So you're
where-
just saying it's a ball of energy that's going through, kind of like a tape on a loop. It just keeps repeating.
I believe there are restless spirits, yes.
Well, okay, y'all remember the story I told you about the night my grandmother died? Mm-hmm. You remember me telling you that story where, in the bedroom? And so, I mean, that right there alone, to me, at least proves there's something else. And if it could be left here on Earth.
So there's a difference between like ghost, like what he's talking about, where it just keeps looping and all, compared to like what a lot of people believe is that your ancestors will see you before they fully move on. Right. So there's a difference between those. It's huge in other cultures. The whole like visited by a family member before they move on.
I'm listening, but I'm watching. I'm watching the end of the Dallas Cowboys game.
I don't know. Me personally, unless I completely see it,
Yeah.
I have to go on the side of disbelief with it all.
I mean, it's kind of like aliens and Bigfoot.
God damn it, Prescott! Throw the fucking ball.
Really?
Fucking Bigfoot, that's Chewbacca. He landed here.
Well, I mean, like again, I'm not saying there's a lot of the Earth that we have not explored. Maybe there is a giant species we don't know about. Aliens, like actually, I'll say this: I actually believe in aliens. Do I think they're visiting us? No. But
no, they ride past our planet and go, roll them up.
roll them up. But I mean, think about it, like Abby and I were. So the Andromeda Galaxy is a galaxy that's going to be visible in our skies in the northern hemisphere this month. Okay, and so Abby and I looked it up. If I remember correctly, there's like 100 to 200 billion stars.
Nerd alert.
There's 100 to 200 billion stars in the Milky Way galaxy. Okay.
Yeah.
We are one planet on one star, the only one that we've ever found with life. Okay.
Hold on one second. Wait a minute. The nerd alert. You say that because he's talking about this, right?
Yes.
But you play fantasy football, right?
Yeah.
That's nothing but an
Keyword,
RPG.
Keyword there is football.
That is nothing more than Dungeons and Dragons. You're keeping up with stats. You're advancing on. Is that not what you're leveling up?
You're absolutely true.
It is Dungeons and Dragons.
100% true.
But I will agree with you, nerd alert. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead,
It's
man.
all right. The point I'm trying to make here is that the Andromeda Galaxy has like twice as many stars in it, and to think that not one of them could not host life on it is silly. And that's just one galaxy.
It's irrational.
Yeah, and there's literally trillions of galaxies out there with hundreds of billions and trillions of stars in each one of those. So to be so arrogant to think that we're the only speck of dust in this crazy universe that has life on, and I'm not even talking intelligent life. Maybe it's just centipedes on the planet. But I mean, I think there's something alive somewhere else for sure, 100%.
Even if it's just microorganisms.
Even if it's just
Go watch Star Trek: First Contact. We still got a few years to get light speed.
Yeah, before the Vulcans find us.
Yep.
Well, the Vulcans have to find. Then we get light speed, then the Vulcans find us.
That's right. Because they were going to do one more
How
flyby
the hell
on the
did we
planet.
get off on this? Oh yeah,
I
the
don't
aliens
know.
and shit.
Yeah, aliens, and then. Well, no, actually, it was. I asked y'all if you have hometown legends. So
Yeah,
kind
of course, we
devolved
got
from there.
several of them. I think every town pretty much has them.
There was one in my neighborhood. We had a Dead Man's Hill, which supposedly a kid rode down his bike this hill, and then the hill hits a curb and it goes down another dirt hill into the creek, right?
Yeah.
And the story was he rode down the hill so fast he hit the curb, tumbled down the hill, and died. And now that when it rains, his blood still runs down the hill because the water turns red. But it's just clay.
It's just an urban myth.
Well, I mean that's part
Urban
of it.
legend.
But it would turn the water red. But it's
Right,
it's
it's the
clay.
clay.
It's clay.
We had
Makes
one
sense.
about a soldier that deserted his unit during the Civil War, and they came back to his hometown and caught him and hung him.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it true?
It's the rumor. I don't know.
So if you had a chance to do
This is down in Elba, right?
Yeah.
if you had a chance to do a paranormal investigation, would you?
Fuck yeah.
So
I would too.
before we came up with this, we talked about doing a podcast. Do you remember what Southern Fried Mysteries?
Okay.
And it was literally going to be what we wanted to do. It just we didn't do it because time-wise we didn't have the time to do all the research.
Speaking of Southern Fried, I wanted to do a restaurant one time when I was young called Southern Fried Walk. It's Chinese food, but with a Southern twist.
It's actually kind of awesome.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
Asian fusion. I mean, I'm
Think
okay with
about
that.
it. I mean,
Yeah.
instead of like,
It could be
instead of your egg rolls,
so
on
on
the
the
outside,
on
it's
the
like
menu,
cornbread.
on the menu instead of it saying Southern fusion, just put elevation on there.
Elevation.
Elevation.
But anyway,
Oh come on, that was funny.
the idea was I was going to be, I guess, the believer,
Yeah.
and we were going to go through like Jeffrey's 13 Alabama Ghosts or something like that.
Yeah, okay.
And he was going to be the detective, the straight guy.
And you had Spring Villa that you could have done. Right off
We
the
had
bat,
some
'cause that's
local
in there.
stuff. Well, and isn't there an abandoned mortuary in Opelika?
There is. It's over on 4th Avenue.
And we talked about
Fourth- no,
going there
4th
and
Street.
recording white noise or whatever, see if
Yeah.
you hear anything. I mean, I'm still not opposed to it. We can do it for
it's,
this.
Well, it's condemned. You can't
I feel
get
like
in
you
there.
probably
It's
hit that.
dangerous to be in there.
I feel like the Mill Village somewhere over there you could probably
Got you,
hit up.
Tucker. I'm not winking at you. What's that? I'm sorry, the Mill
I
Village.
feel like the Mill Village is somewhere you can hit up.
Gotcha. Well, maybe it's something we look at in the future. Just something different.
I'm
man.
going to be always siding on the disbelief. So
try to review death or ghosts. Last thing I've got here, those kids. If I was those kids, if I saw what I saw with the kids screaming at the outside of the elevator and the pumps going out, my ass is not getting off that elevator. I'm just saying that right now.
Yeah.
If I see you die over there, guess what? You're gonna be dead over there because I'm not gonna come.
We're going to come get you on November 1st.
Yeah, we'll see you the next day in the daylight.
yeah,
All right, here we go. So Rhonda gets out and she finds the crashed school bus half out of the water. with with some other masks that are floating in where the other kids' masks are floating in the water. She reaches for a mask and is grabbed. She freaks out, and what looks to be ghouls start to chase after her. She finds the boy that she left in the elevator his intestines are being eaten. As they close in, she slips and falls backwards, passing out. As one of the ghouls says, "Oh shit!" She comes to and screams and hits one of them. They take their mask off and show that it was just a prank. Rhonda is crying and freaking out. They go back to the bus to pack everything up as Macy kicks a pumpkin into the lake. They start to hear childlike giggles and whispers. Back with Wanda, they hear screaming, and Schrader goes to check. He finds a freaked out Macy and hears voices too, and they see the kids rambling towards them. One girl, as they start to run, one girl falls and she's yanked back. Rhonda is sitting in the elevator with the gate locked.
Open the gate!
I love this.
No! Wanda, look at me! What are you doing? It's not a trick. It's real.
0 fucks given.
Where's she going? Wanda!
So it was kind of obvious that she was on the spectrum there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that was obvious. But
That's why they called her a savant.
yeah, do you think she thought this was part of the ongoing gag and
No.
left them there, or
No.
she knew they were fixing to get
Because
fucked?
she is what they call idiot savant. So she knew everything about Halloween. Do you not think that she would know the history of her town and knew exactly what happened? So she knew beforehand about the rock quarry. She knew exactly beforehand everything about it.
I hate to say it. I think she's just like, y'all fuck with me. Guess what's going to happen to you? Like, and I think I bet you on some level knows about Sam
Well, there's a twist at the
and
end.
the rules. So yeah, so the kids. So the elevator reaches the top. We hear sounds of splatters and gushes and kids screaming. Then nothing. Rhonda and Sam see each other and continue on. So they kind of acknowledge each other and just walk past each other.
Yeah.
Lori is walking through the woods and is confronted by the masked man. Lori's sister is worried about her, saying she was always the run of the litter, and the masked man attacks, saying...
There was a little Easter egg there.
Yeah. There's more kind of... Well, she's dressed as Red Riding Hood.
Yeah. Once you realize what they are, there's a lot of little
Yeah,
Easter
there are.
eggs there.
And you see him, again, if you watch it twice. The masked man attacks, saying, my, what big eyes you have. We hear a scream, and then Lori's cloak comes flying in through the trees. They run to check on it, but inside the cloak is the masked man, asking for help. Lori comes walking out of the woods, saying that the man bit her. They seem oddly passive about it as the man continues to ask for help. They take out his fangs and take off the mask, and we see that it's Mr. Wilkins.
That surprised me.
I know.
I didn't recognize it at first.
It's funny,
at
though.
all.
You know he's fucked in the head, so it...
Yeah.
But I didn't recognize him at
But
first.
as recognizable as his mouth and eyes are, like when he's not wearing the mask, that mask completely changed.
Yeah.
Because I think his mouth is fairly recognizable. He just,
Well, he had those fangs in his mouth,
Yeah.
and that's going to change the
Plus, he
shape
looked
of it a little
younger,
bit.
too.
Yeah, he did. He did look
He
younger.
looked much younger.
Well, and the black around the eyes, too.
Yeah.
So let's see. Oh, he sees all the other party goers are dead with their throats ripped out. Lori's sister tells her to be herself, so she sits on Wilkins, saying it's her first time. It's her first time, and to bear with her. They all start dancing and undressing and transforming with fangs and eyes, and they start shedding their skin
Boobs.
and some boobs, revealing hairy werewolves underneath. Lori tells Wilkins, "My, what big eyes you have," and attacks him. As they eat, Sam sits by and watches very calmly. So those werewolves, I read this again in the trivia. It's the same studio that made the werewolves for Underworld, if I remember correctly.
Okay, I can see that.
So might have been the same werewolves for Underworld. I don't know.
Probably. Reused them.
Would have been
I mean, it's just sitting around anyways, right?
Yeah. I think my favorite scene of this whole movie is that whole little bit with Rhonda where she clicks the button and she rides up the elevator, walks out. She sees Sam, he sees her. They kind of nod at each other and just, she's
Everybody
not.
goes their separate ways.
She's not broken any rules. He has no problem with her.
But she knows exactly who he is.
Oh, she knows
'Cause
exactly.
She's in
Savant.
the idiot savant.
Yeah, she's
so
savant.
she already knows.
Her obsession, her savant gift would be, I guess, knowledge of all things Halloween.
Yeah.
Or learning and remembering all things Halloween. So, but I love that. I think that's the best sequence for me personally. I did say I don't want to die by a werewolf, but if I were going to, and Anna Paquin was going to have to sit on me to do it, I'd be okay with that.
All right, so here's a weird question.
At least get one last grope in before you go. It's not real, but I don't care.
Well, I mean, if you want to see Anna Paquin's tits that bad, you can always go watch that HBO
True
show,
Blood.
True Blood.
Which is funny because this came out actually before. I thought it was the same time, but this came out right before True Blood, where she played a vampire. So generally,
No, she wasn't a vampire.
she becomes one, if I remember correctly.
I don't think so, but maybe she did. It's been a long time.
It's a vampire movie show. How about that?
Um,
Here's the thing with Anna Paquin. Let me see this real fast.
she's oddly hot.
She is, but whenever I think about Anna Paquin, I always go like X-Men. Like the first time I've ever seen her, But do you see her in this movie? She is a woman, 100%. And I mean, she's not bad looking.
She's only a couple months older than you.
Nice. Well, she's married to the guy and has a couple kids.
Stephen Moyer.
Yeah, from True Blood.
So we know where her cup of tea is.
Guy's name's Steven. Sweet.
Well, you and him don't have a lot in common because he's tall and not very hobbit-like.
Oh.
Oh, man. So, last thing I've got is, depending on which werewolf lore you subscribe to, shouldn't the people that were attacked by them turn into werewolves themselves?
No, if you kill
Only if you're
bitten and run away.
Yeah, if you're bitten and get an escape, you turn into a werewolf. If you're
killed, that's it.
Killed.
So if you just die, you die?
Yeah, if you die.
So here's
that's
one.
it.
Would you rather be a zombie or not a zombie? Would you rather be a vampire or a werewolf?
Vampire. Because a werewolf, I mean, well, it depends also. Okay, when you say werewolf, is a werewolf that can change whenever you want to, or is it a werewolf where you only change on full moon?
How would you be able to go to the lake on your boat if you were a vampire? Unless you were one of those sparkly ones from Twilight.
I could see him sparkling.
I'm just saying, you wouldn't. I mean, how would you go on your boat?
Well,
go at night.
Yeah, as I say, you got vampire night vision, so yeah, just go night riding.
Then you couldn't go to a baseball game if you're a werewolf. You'd be too busy trying to chase the ball down. Foul ball.
Good boy.
Scratch me behind my ears. That's a tough one, man. I mean, they got the. I'm sure that transformation's got to be.
They
painful.
each have their pros and cons.
Yeah, they do. I've always liked vampires more though. Like from the age of I don't know, probably 4 to 8. I think I was a vampire every year for Halloween.
I have to agree with you. I would have to go with vampire.
That's a hard one. That's a really hard one. Because I mean, you can go out in daytime and do all your regular stuff as a werewolf.
Yeah, it's true.
You can do that. As a
vampire.
vampire.
in the Blade movies, they could put on industrial sunscreen and go out in the daytime. So you got that.
There you go. I guess it really depends on which vampire universe you have to be in.
And then you got your flaws. You get killed by a wooden stick, or somebody breathes garlic in your face, and you're dead as a vampire.
Well, I mean, even
if
as
you get shot by a silver bullet. I think I'd rather be a werewolf.
As a human, I think if you had a wooden stake driven to your heart, I think you're going to die regardless, vampire or not.
Yeah,
I mean, probably.
But I'm with you on the garlic thing. That kind of sucks because I do love garlic.
Yeah, you can't eat spaghetti no more.
You can, it just can't have garlic in it.
Was that not good spaghetti? You can't have your garlic bread. You can have that imitation garlic.
Again, it depends on which universe, which vampire universe. Because I
could you eat imitation?
That's true
garlic,
because
in
in Supernatural they can have garlic. Garlic doesn't bother them.
There you go.
Crosses don't bother them either. The only way you kill them is decapitation. In Supernatural.
Okay, so moving on.
Yeah.
Last little bit here.
Screw the vampires and Steven sparkly ones.
We never really established which universe, but I'm still going vampire.
I said werewolf.
I'm going to go with you. I got to go vampire.
The sparkly kind.
Not the sparkly kind.
Trey would definitely be a sparkly vampire.
I think he would go werewolf.
No, Trey would be. He believes in Harry Potter. He's a sparkly vampire.
If you went with werewolf, you'll have hair. You'd be the first bald-headed werewolf. Well, we know who that is.
God damn, that was good. I can't even be mad about that one. All right, let's go.
All right, okay, here we go. We see the exterior of a house, and an earlier box appears. 3 trick-or-treaters cautiously approach and knock. The door slowly unlocks and opens. They hear heavy breathing, and they see glowing eyes of some sort of beast comes after them. We see it was just a little dog with a mask on. Krieg burns some old photos and watches an infomercial. He takes a bite of a candy bar and spits it out. We see the newscast from earlier. The dog barks, and Krieg sees that his gate has been opened, and someone eggs his window. He grabs a bat and starts looking for Spike the dog. Outside, he finds Spike eating the finger that Wilkins threw him. We see the interaction from early in the movie, but from Krieg's side this time. Spike then barks at the front door as he is emerges, telling whoever it is to get off his property. He sees that front door. As he emerges from the front door, he's yelling at everyone to get off his property. He sees his whole front yard is filled with jack-o'-lanterns. Spike then barks and goes up the stairs. Krieg hears someone running around and he grabs a shotgun over the fireplace that he mentioned earlier. As he climbs the stairs, we see Sam run and we hear the dog yelp. He goes in the hallway and into his room, seeing movement on his bed, and he finds a little mechanical hand. Just then, a pumpkin catches on fire and he sees Halloween sayings written in blood all over the room. As he's watching, a little hand reaches out and cuts the back of his leg with a candy bar that has a razor blade in it. Krieg grabs his gun and shoots, but Sam has disappeared. He falls down the stairs that has candy and razor blades all on it. As he tries to unlock the door, Sam crawls on the ceiling above him and drops on him and attacks. He crawls to the window and we can see him trying to get Wilkins' attention, and Sam attacks again. He rips off the mask and we see that Sam has a huge pumpkin for a head with a skeletal face. He then bites Krieg's leg and Krieg gets his gun, shooting Sam in the face, sending him flying. Krieg reloads and shoots Sam 2 more times before calling the police, who, of course, put him on hold. And before he can report it, the line is pulled from the wall. The dismembered hand is then stabs Krieg in the foot, much to his bewilderment.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
I love the sigh at the very end. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Okay, I think it's fine.
No, that was... I read something... Never mind. I read something. He did some other movie. He said the exact same line.
Oh, really?
He did it again.
Oh, I didn't know that. So the hand gets the mask, and then Sam wakes up. His hand reattaches itself, and he puts his mask back on. Walking towards Krieg, he takes a bite of a lollipop, and we see the lollipop from the beginning. He stalks towards Krieg. Who reaches for him, breaks a glass bottle to keep fighting, but Sam disarms him. As Sam stabs him, he hits a piece of candy on Krieg's chest and then stops. He takes the candy, turns, and leaves, giving Krieg one last look. Krieg realizes what he has to do.
Oh, he said it in Super Troopers.
That's what it was from?
Yeah.
Really?
I was gonna say I remember.
He was the captain.
Well, I knew that. Yeah.
It was Super Troopers.
I just don't remember that. But I mean, they cursed a lot in that film. So
yeah.
So Krieg realizes what he has to do. In the fire, we see a picture of the school children, and that Krieg was the bus driver. Fade to black, and then we have a text box that says later. Trick-or-treaters come to Krieg's door, and he gives them candy. Next door, the Wilkins kid is handing out candy wearing his dad's bloody shirt. Rhonda is shown to be the person that was pulling the wagon from the very beginning, and the car that almost hits her is Lori and her sister and her friends. We see Sam watching Krieg as he turns when the woman from the first sequence blows out the pumpkin, breaking that rule. Sam looks at the lollipop and takes off towards her. Krieg closes the door, but then there's another knock. Krieg closes the door, and there's another knock.
Trick or treat.
And it's the kids from the school bus kids are there, and they attack him. And all the screaming and the sound you hear, it's that they cut to black, and then you see pictures of comic books and blood splatter and things like that, and then roll credits.
So a couple of things. This is where we get back to where I was talking about what year was this placed in. Because you see Krieg watching TV, right? And he's flicking with the old school.
Super old school.
And the old wooden console TV. Now I understand that all of his house is outdated, but about this time is about when they integrated to the digital tuners.
That was well after that. Digital tuners were... I was married and we had bought our house, so that was at least 4 or 5 years later.
What was this
when
movie?
When they went from the analog signal to the digital tuners. That was after 2010 because we had.
So?
Are you talking about a digital cable box or digital over the air?
It was a.
What he's talking about the digital over the air where you had to get the digital antenna.
Yeah. Is that what you're talking about? Or are you talking about a digital?
Yeah, I mean, I guess he could have been doing antenna, though, because he's only got 4 or 5 channels he can watch.
But he's so old-fashioned.
You think he's just stuck?
Yeah, I think he's just stuck.
So here's my next question. Is Rhonda his granddaughter?
I don't think so.
No.
So when they first run up on Rhonda's, whose house is she at?
She's just walking across. She's just walking back home from the quarry.
Yeah, but they come up and they say, "Who carved all these pumpkins?"
Yeah, but those pumpkins weren't there before he got killed, so and she
When she
wasn't,
comes
she
out
wasn't
the door,
in the house.
all those pumpkins are there. So it's the same house, isn't it?
No,
I think it's a different house.
different house.
It's just another house that has a crap ton of pumpkins.
So-
also hanging from a pole and everything else, like Rhonda's
It's
house.
exactly like Rhonda's house, but you know, when the kids first approach to trick or treat the house, there's no pumpkins out there, right?
Yeah.
But then I think that's part of. I think Sam does this. I think Sam uses some Halloween magic to like put pumpkins out there. In a weird way, it seems like Sam's trying to. He's killing them because they're breaking rules, but it seems like in this case, it's almost like he's trying to help him by making him more Halloween friendly by adding the pumpkins, or maybe he's just trying to scare him.
I don't feel like it is. I really feel like that's like somehow connected with Rhonda.
And it may be, and I get what you're saying there. I just
Because they're
I
so
didn't-
similar.
I didn't get that.
I mean,
fair.
it's dead on.
I didn't. I mean, I can't say I'm gonna go back and watch it. We'll get in a second. Yeah, I see what you're saying, but I didn't catch that, or I didn't pick up on that when I was watching it. So I don't know.
I'm kind of with you on this. Yeah, I didn't catch it then. It's a good point, and I don't know how they. But because my only thing is that they weren't there when the first three kids knock on the door and the dog comes out with the glowing eyes. There were no all of his lights are off. It's an overgrown yard. There's nothing on the porch. Then when he goes out with the bat to threaten who he thinks is just kids, he doesn't know it's Sam yet. When he goes out to threaten, then that's why his face when he walks out the door, he's like, "Get off my pro!" And he's looking around going, "Where the fuck did all these pumpkins come from?" You know.
So did Rhonda put those up last second? Maybe.
I mean, I guess
because the thing keeps going back and forth in time.
Yeah, I guess you don't really know the time frame between. It seems to me the kids knocked on the door. That he can't. I mean, I think all that happens in relatively real time. But I mean, we could be wrong. I don't know. Maybe she did do it. If she did do it, maybe she's just trying to be nice to someone who doesn't like Halloween, like her.
Or maybe because she knows the background story of him, and she doesn't want him
trying to help him.
Yeah.
Doesn't want Sam to kill him.
Right.
Could be.
But she didn't care about her friend, those other people getting killed.
Yeah, I don't know if friends is the right word there.
She doesn't care about, and even it looks like she met that boy for the first time tonight because they introduced themselves. But you'd think they go to school together.
Yeah,
right?
I think they knew each other. They may not have ever been formally introduced. Like she's not going to be in any cliques in school because she's the savant.
Yeah, she's the weird one.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not trying to be mean. It's just
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not saying to be.
I'm
dick,
still throwing
just
it
saying.
out there that maybe
I like
that's
it.
why
I
she
mean, I
knew
like
the
it.
whole story.
No, I like it.
And she just didn't like the fact that they were picking on her grandfather in a certain sense.
Maybe. I mean, that could be something they pursue in part 2, possibly. Yeah. Because he's obviously dead. He will not be in part 2.
Well, we don't know.
Anybody got anything else?
So I don't know if you know. I noticed this that when he gets his shotgun and he loads it, it sounds like he loads it and you hear a like it's pump action.
Got to do it. It's got to be done. If you got a gun,
you got to make that.
You got to do it. Yes.
It's kind of like when you hear someone.
I didn't catch that, and I typically do.
I know.
But
It's also like when you someone with like a revolver that sounds like they're racking a slide.
Yeah, you got to do it.
Here's the last thing I'll point out. Okay, so when the fight starts and he's upstairs, right? He tumbles down the stairs and he can't get up because there's glass on his hands, right? From the stairs and everything, and he can't open the door. Then immediately, when I guess after the mask comes off and the thing and Sam starts biting his leg, he then grabs the shotgun, shoots him in the head, reloads it, shoots him twice, and then picks up the phone. His hands are fine. No blood on his hands.
Huh.
adrenaline.
But not the blood part. But I do get the adrenaline part. I was going to say the same thing. The reason why you grab like he did is because of adrenaline. But the blood part, you would think you would see, it running down his arms and everywhere else, all the blood.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I mean, it's just a continuity error, really, is what it is. But it's just kind of
even whenever Sam grabs his hand and twists his wrist, you don't see it cut open.
That's true too.
Yeah. You don't.
So, I mean, it's just one of those things. I didn't even notice it the first time. When I was watching it this time, I was like, huh. Like, he couldn't open the door to get away, but then he could just grab that shotgun, shoot him. He was having trouble. He was fumbling with the locks, but then he just goes, slink, slink, takes out the 2 spent shells, puts 2 more shells in, pop, pop, shoots them
Well, at that
twice.
point, I'm going with the adrenaline.
And that's how you know it's an old shotgun, because when you break that thing open, it doesn't kick the shells out.
Yeah, that you gotta pull them out. Yeah,
that's an old shotgun.
With the adrenaline part, after he shoots him and he tries to get to the phone, it should kick back in. That the pain should be back there.
You would think. Once he gets him down and you're kind of coming
all
back
the
down.
pumpkin guts blow out.
I love when he shoots him and he just, that scene where he just slides across and hits the thing and he's just like, and he hits the wall.
Yeah.
That was so great. That was awesome.
I felt like that could have used a slide whistle there because it was so stupid.
Ding! Where's Dan Cummins when we need him, right?
Right.
All right. I guess we'll get into our ratings and reviews then. I guess I go first since I went first earlier, huh?
Yeah, that works.
So, like I said, I've never seen this movie. This is the first time I've ever watched it. I really enjoyed it. Is it the best quote-unquote horror movie? No, absolutely not. I like all the subtle references. I really do recommend watching it at least twice. Watch it one more time, knowing all the characters. Like one of the things at the very beginning, okay? Y'all remember the part where the woman, when she's staring at the guy with the white mask?
Yeah.
It's kind of freaking her out. You know what I'm talking about, Chris? Mm-hmm. If you watch it again, you'll realize there are people walking by him, and it's the kids. It's the bus kids.
Okay.
That have just killed, have just killed, what's his face?
Or on their way to, at least.
I think the angle that, I think they're going away, but that's not the point. But yeah, you see that. Let's see. You can see the bus also I just like how they tie everything together. They do that wider shot because in the very beginning, you see the girl pulling the wagon and a car almost hits her, and then it goes into the first sequence. But now you do this wide shot. You see the Rhonda pulling. You know the girl pulling the wagon. You know the people in the car, and you know like all the people. I love how it brought it all back together, back to that opening sequence. I liked it. I thought it was. Is it the best, most well done movie ever? No, absolutely not. But for what it is, I'd watch it again. It's going to be. I think it'll be a Halloween movie of mine going forward. I hope that eventually if I can ever find an edited version that takes out the sex part, I would watch it with that because it's not gory. There's no deaths on screen. A
lot of implied stuff, but yeah.
But all the deaths are off scene. Are off camera is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The only thing that I don't like about that, the only reason I wouldn't let Abby watch it at this point is not the language or the violence, is just the sex. Because she's 8. She doesn't need to see that. That being said, I'm going to give it 2.5 beers. I'm going to go middle of the road and 2.5 beers.
All right. Chris, what about you, buddy?
Hey, that's a tough one. Part of me feels like this is like if they took the show Tales from the Crypt and they said, let's make this into a movie. That's what this is like to me. It's just like there's just a mix-up of way too much. I feel like this would have been better if we would have done what we talked about before. If they would have done like one movie just about the kids and the bus driver and stuff, another movie just about the werewolves and all, and another movie just about the psycho killer next door. But have it like the characters do cross over. Like it's like a whole universe in its own. If they would have done that, I think this would have been a great movie. I feel like it was just way too much rushed into one thing to where it's like you never fully get an actual good story out of it. It's all missing some. So with that, I'm going to give it a 3 beer because I will watch it again just to see if I can catch some things.
Okay. Tucker?
All right, hold on.
I've got it. You breaking stuff over there?
Mm-hmm. No. All right, so I like Chris. I like what you said about how the movie didn't feel complete, and I do agree with you 100% on that. I think they tried to do too much with this movie in an hour and 35 minutes,
hour and 22 minutes.
Hour and 22 minutes.
Hour and 22 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, very short movie. Thank God. They tried to cram too much stuff in it. It just felt like a bunch of small pieces being stitched together with no. I realize at the end there is a cohesive overall story to it, but it just didn't feel. It felt rushed. It felt incomplete. The non-linear fashion, the sequencing of the movie made sense at the end, but while it was going forward, I didn't like it. I found it confusing and hard to watch, and I found it hard to get into. I was not a fan of this movie. I probably would not watch it again. I get what you're saying, and I might, but as it stands right now, I wouldn't watch this movie again. This is a 4-beer movie, and I just did not like it.
I guess that's fair.
3.16 repeating.
Yeah.
So if we take your 2.5, Chris's 3, my 4, add them up and divide by 3, it's a 3.16 repeating, which means this movie is slightly worse than average, which is still not bad.
No,
it's not a terrible movie, but I'm on the other end. You said, thank God it's not that long. I feel like if they would have made it longer, they could have actually dove more into the stories. Maybe they wouldn't have jumped on the, lineage of jumping around. They could have made it more of a cohesive story.
I feel like Trey should have been here for this and given us a rating on it, because I feel like
Trey, 5.
I feel like Trey would have been somewhere in the 4.5 range too on this.
Well, we'll ask him. Maybe on the off chance he does watch it like a.
Oh, that's a
may have already seen
very
it.
off chance.
Maybe he did. I don't know. Maybe he'll be able to give us a rating next week.
So hopefully he'll be back next week, and we'll do his movie, I think, which was
Rocky Horror
Picture Show.
You still haven't picked one.
I still haven't. I've narrowed it down to about 3.
So I'm hoping he might. I've told y'all, and lazy over here, Chris, that if y'all were going to do your movie, I was going to let y'all do the synopsis, and you could do the read through and everything, which is fine.
Fuck yes, I am.
And I would like to do. It'll give me a little break. I'm not going to lie.
Oh fuck yeah, I'll do it.
I'm worried about Trey.
Yeah. I mean, I get it.
Him, I'm worried about.
I get it, but I just want to prove to people I can read better than you.
Whatever.
Can you bring a pillow when you start reading it? Bring 5-hour energy drink with us.
I have a feeling like, Trey's going to do it like, yeah, this movie's really good. The end. We're going to have a
Fight Club.
The movie is called Rocky Horror Picture Show, and it's about a picture show full of horrors. Discuss.
So, I don't know. We'll
you may be surprised. He may come in with a list of questions and stuff. You don't know what he may.
I know.
It'll be totally different than how we're doing it right now.
That's what that scares me,
but
and it makes me happy at the same time. Like, yeah.
I can only imagine some of the inappropriate questions he'll ask,
especially about that movie.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, moving on. So you can find us at theguysreview.simplecast.com. Our email is theguysreviewpod@gmail.com. Email me anything you want, and I will read it poorly. Instagram at theguysreviewpod. Twitter at _guysreview. And remember, like the tweet at the top of the page, and we will add you to our little Twitter DM group. You can chat with us and make fun of us in real time. Chris, did you still not download Twitter, huh?
Nah.
I tagged you in a post today. Did you see our commercial I dropped today for Hubie? I did one last commercial.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did.
I didn't get on my phone today, man. I've been under the weather.
That's all right. I understand. Yeah, it's on Facebook and Instagram as well.
Oh, okay, I'll look it up. I've just been under the weather.
It's okay. Well, I'll let you know if I get any replies to it.
Oh, okay. I gotta check it out now.
I mean, I doubt I will, but I mean, you never know. So
Hubie-doo-wah.
Hubie-doo-wah. All right, I'll show you. Anyways, well, if that's it, anyone else got anything they want to add? You good?
I'm good.
Don't go dine on us.
Chris, don't you go dine on us.
See y'all next week.
All right. Thanks for, oh my God. I'm Steven on behalf of Chris and Tucker. This has been another episode of The Guys Review.